It is Wednesday, August 26, 2020, and this is your Three Gorges Dam update. We have 5 pieces of information to cover today, including China's Yellow River sees 6 flood this year. Also, courtesy of Xinhua, China on orange alert for Typhoon Bibi. Next, courtesy of aquanow.info, flooding throughout Sichuan province, Three Gorges Dam reaches record inflow levels, massive economic losses. Next, courtesy of the Indian Express, explained why China has declared war on food wastage. We also have some new photos and some new footage. Let's hop into it. And a brief caveat before today's video. While researching for these reports, I come across information from various sources. Just because I decide to include a piece of information doesn't necessarily mean that I agree with it. I like to let you decide for yourself. Moving on. And a quick look at the status of the water level at the Three Gorges Dam before we get started. The current water level at the Three Gorges Dam is 163.47 meters. That's down from yesterday's 164.55 meters. The current outflow is noted at 40,200 cubic meters per second. That's also down from yesterday's 48,200 cubic meters per second. The current inflow is not listed, and it is worth noting that these numbers are released by the CCP. And this comes courtesy of Xinhua, China's Yellow River sees 6 flood this year. And it says in bold at the top of the article, due to the inbound water flow and recent heavy rains, the amount of water flowing per second into the Tongguan hydrologic station in northwest China's Shanxi province has increased to 5,230 cubic meters. China's Yellow River is undergoing its 6th flood of the year due to continuous rainfall. The Yellow River Conservation Commission within the Ministry of Water Resources said on Tuesday. The commission issued a blue alert for flooding, asking local governments along the Yellow River, China's second longest, to continue monitoring the situation. And this comes courtesy of Xinhua, China on orange alert for Typhoon Bibi. China's National Observatory on Wednesday issued an orange alert for Typhoon Bibi, which is expected to bring gales and torrential rains to large parts of the country's coastal regions. The typhoon, the 8th of this year, was observed at waters 890 kilometers south of the border of China and the Democratic People's Republic of Korea at 5 a.m. on Wednesday, with a maximum wind force of 45 meters per second near its eye, the National Meteorological Center said. The NMC expects the typhoon to move northward at a speed of 20 to 25 kilometers per hour before making landfall in coastal areas between eastern Liaoning and west of the DPRK on Thursday morning. From Wednesday morning to Thursday morning, gales are expected to hit some coastal areas including Taiwan, Fujian, and Zhejiang, according to the NMC. During the same period, parts of regions in the provinces of Jilin, Liaoning, and Hebei will experience downpours, with some areas seeing up to 180 millimeters of rainfall, the NMC said. The NMC advises people and vessels in disaster-prone areas to take shelter from winds. China has a 4-tier color-coded weather warning system, with red representing the most severe weather, followed by orange, yellow, and blue. Thank you for watching this video. If you're finding it informative, please consider giving the channel a subscribe. And this is courtesy of aquanow.info. Flooding throughout Sichuan province, Three Gorges Dam reaches record inflow levels, massive economic losses. And this article was published on August 25th, 2020. A new surge in heavy rain and upstream flooding on the Yangtze River has caused many riverside businesses to shut down, while shipments along the river were halted on August 18th, affecting deliveries to manufacturers. Many Chinese factories were forced to halt production in February and March due to the pandemic. While the economy has been recovering since April, a disaster along the Yangtze, where industries like automobiles, semiconductors, and display panels are based, could set things back. Inflow into the Three Gorges Dam reached a record on August 19th, causing water levels in the reservoir to rise to an unprecedented 166 meters. This is well above the 145 meter safe threshold, but below the maximum water level of 175 meters. The water levels are being closely watched, as further rise could force more release, adding to the flooding woes downstream in Hubei and Anhui provinces. Over 20 rivers in Sichuan province have exceeded their flood warning levels, causing massive evacuations of over 100,000 people and prompting searches for those in low-lying areas that have been reported missing. Local authorities have indicated that it is the top priority of the city government to carry out post-disaster epidemic prevention and to protect those who have been resettled. While the Sichuan Provincial Meteorological Observatory claims that the main rain belt is leaving the province, there is an alert for subsequent geological disasters such as landslides and mudslides. And our last article is another follow-up on China's Clean Plate Initiative, courtesy of IndianExpress.com, explained why China has declared war on food wastage. China's President Xi Jinping last week called on his country's citizens to drastically cut down on food waste in a new initiative called the Clean Plates Campaign. The push came as the pandemic, devastating floods, and worsening relations with major international partners have raised fears about a food shortage in the world's most populous country. Restaurants, catering associations, and even the military have swiftly responded to the president's appeal by introducing new measures. Xi announced the campaign, promising to strengthen legislation and other mechanisms in support, calling the problem of food waste in the country shocking and distressing. Studies in recent years show that China produces around 17 to 18 million tons of food waste annually. As a matter of comparison, the United States, the global leader in food waste, throws away approximately 40 million tons of food a year. Following Xi's announcement, the state-run media ran exposés on restaurant customers ordering more than they could eat, as well as named and shamed a growing number of shows on China's popular social media platforms, with people live streaming themselves eating large quantities and varieties of food, saying this was promoting a culture of extravagance. The compliance has been swift. A few streaming platforms pledged to crack down on such content, while the Wuhan Catering Industry Association urged restaurants in the city to devise an in-one system. The number of dishes served to a group of customers in a restaurant must be at least one less than the number of people in the group. Several restaurants around the country announced their own measures in support of the campaign, including the introduction of waste prevention supervisors, staff members who would help customers order just enough food to ensure there's no wasting. On Thursday, the PLA Daily, the mouthpiece of China's People's Liberation Army, reported that the military was introducing new high-tech, high-efficiency equipment and processes, including robot cooks, to streamline cooking and cut down on wastage of food and other resources. China has bad memories of food regulation. Between 1958 and 1962, during his Great Leap Forward, Chairman Mao had dictated strict rules regarding what farmers could sow and imposed food rationing. Millions of people are estimated to have starved to death. According to China's National Bureau of Statistics, food prices in the country are 10% higher this July compared to last year. The disruption caused by the pandemic in international trade has had a severe impact on China's economy and cut off many of the supply chains through which it procured various kinds of food items. China's worsening relations with countries in its own neighborhood, and also the US and Australia, two major sources of food imports, have added to food security concerns. To make matters worse, the recent floods across large swaths of southern China have laid to waste farms and destroyed tons of produce. Parts of the country have also had to deal with locust swarms destroying crops. The state media, however, has dismissed suggestions that China is facing a food shortage crisis. And our last piece of information is a couple of interesting tweets, a photo of Typhoon Bibi, and another tweet showing another tropical depression developing off the east coast of the Philippines. And I think that's a good place to wrap up today's video. I hope that you found it informative, and check back soon for more content.